Everyone told me to find Jesus. My last video blew up and the response that I got overwhelmingly was all of this mental illness stuff is allowed everywhere. So many people are being arrested for their point of view, for having an opinion that is outside of the norm. I needed to have Jesus in my life. People think that there's something empty inside of me. Well, there is. I think there's something empty inside of all of us. But the overwhelming response from people, I got direct inbox messages, emails and comments on the video was until I fill that gap with Jesus in my life, there'll always be that emptiness. Now, I went to a Christian school and I've got Christian friends, I've got Muslim friends. There are different religions, and at the end of the day, you're reading from a book that another man has written. I mean, women weren't even allowed to write anything to talk about what their beliefs were, right? Now, in my opinion, I am non-religious, even having gone to a religious school. I pick no religion because every religion has a different belief. Which one is correct? Why do so many different people have a different way of interpreting or thinking the Bible, the Quran, or whatever religious scriptures that they're reading from? I don't want this video to be divisive. I want it to be discussional. Now, when people were messaging me, telling me that I need to fill my emptiness with Jesus, I think a lot of our emptiness comes between our own ears, right? And in Australia particularly, we're taught to be sheep. We're not taught to free think, and our freedoms are actually being taken away with digital ID, for example. What the government tell you is you can choose to give up your digital ID or not. But if you don't have access to any digital content. So you don't really have an option. It's no different to the injections that we all had to have many years ago. You don't have to have it, but if you don't have a job, and you can't travel out of state, and you can't go here. So is the choice really there, or is the narrative that they give you only there to make you feel better about the decision, given that you think you're the one making that decision? Now, is it any different with religion? Because the narrative that you're reading from, where's the proof other than the words that you're reading? And with everything in society and the world updating over time, irrespective of what that is, why have religious views not been updated over time? There are different treasures that are found in the Egyptian tombs and dinosaurs and things that can be proven, meteors from other planets. But yet in 2025, we have no more proof than what we did in 1995, for example, with religion. A lot of the religious beliefs are interpretations of original transcripts or original people, disciples, prophets, talking about their view, and then those views have then since been adopted. I don't understand why things are the way they are. I don't believe that finding God or Jesus or Allah or whoever it is that you worship brings any more fulfillment than not having one of those people in your life. You may feel differently, but that's what makes us all individuals. Those are some things that we still have freedoms of, is our beliefs. Because, well, even then we don't have those freedoms. Our beliefs are in here. If we verbalize them, we're not allowed to even do that anymore. Look at the marches and the protests across the world. Many of them are either approved or not approved, depending on what it is that you're marching for or against, right? Why do certain things go on in the world while others don't? Why is there diseases and so on and so forth? There are so many cures that you hear are quashed because the medical industry doesn't want cures. We all find meaning in different ways, and at the end of the day, if you don't love yourself, others won't love you, right? If you don't feel good about yourself, how can others feel good about you, so to speak? It's my second day back in the gym. I bloody had a hiatus, and you know, your inside is what matters, and it reflects what you look like on the outside. We've all had different things happen to us that we can cry or hard done by about, but it's what's in here that gets you over those hurdles. People are always looking for someone else to fix their problems. if you're not going to take the leap to fix yourself, whatever that happens to be, getting outside, seeing some sun, it's the best thing you can ever do for your health is see the sun. Go to the gym, eat clean, see a friend, make a friend if you don't have one. You know, different things. It's not hard to do, but you need the motivation to do it. For the last 4 months that I wasn't going to the gym, I needed the motivation. I just thought, no, tomorrow, no, next week, oh, I can't be bothered. And when you feel bad, you look bad. And because you're not going to the gym, you're eating crap because it doesn't matter, because you don't look good anyway. So what's an extra pack of chips going to do, or an extra donut, or an extra whatever it happens to be for you, bag of lollies? Whether you're religious or not, self-care comes from within. I got enough wealth that I thought, what's the point of having it all? What can I do with it? How can I help others? And I think when you are in a position that you're able to help others... Hold on, my phone's ringing, sorry. Yo, what's going on?
What's going on, Shreddy?
Just making a YouTube video.
Oh, yeah? What about?
Making friends, because that helps your health.
Oh, yeah? Not rage baiting today?
Do you know, I've had a couple of people reach out to me this week about my recent videos not putting people down, which is actually better, and I should stop going that angle. They said I got to stop putting people down in my videos because that's not how I get my point across.
Yeah.
I'm trying the whole reverse psychology thing though.
Well, you're doing it because you get more clicks.
And that's the thing people don't understand. Yeah, rage baiting people, it's so easy to do.
Yeah. Where, you know, doing something positive is a lot harder to freaking do.
Doing something positive...
More time.
No, doing something positive is easy, but no one cares about it. People want misery. People feed off it.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Nah, positive works, man, if you're talking about the right thing.
I'm actually talking about religion in this video.
Yuck.
What, if you had to pick a religion, which would you pick?
Muslim.
For what reason?
So I can blow every ton up.
Do you know, I think that's a misconception about religion though, and particularly that faith. And do you even believe what you've heard on the media about that? Do you think that any of that was true, or it was just like fed into society to think that way?
Oh, it's all fed into society.
Yeah.
100%. The Muslim faith is, you know, I don't know, I don't actually agree with the Muslim faith. Allah and all that shit, man, but hey, it's just all terrorists are Muslim, pretty much.
No, I think there's more.
Muslims are terrorists, sorry.
I think there's more white. I think there's more white terrorists than there are.
There are.
We just don't hear about it.
Extremists. Yeah.
We only know what we're shown.
Yeah.
People don't realise that. So many people sit in front of the TV and watch the news and take for gospel, and they don't realise that whether you watch 10 different news outlets, you're getting the same story because the same people own all of the news outlets.
Yep.
Have you ever been to church?
Yeah, man, of course.
Which church?
I don't know, when I was in Bradford Gardens now, I used to go to Sunday school.
Did you?
My nana was highly religious, dude.
Wow.
So, yeah, I grew up in Sunday school fucking till about the age of, I don't know, 8, 9.
It doesn't show. It does not show.
I'm not, I don't know if I'm a believer or not, man. I believe there's something else, but what it is...
Spaceships? E.T.?
Exactly, man. I still believe we're not made for this earth, man, and we're all brought here.
Isn't it funny how everyone has their own belief, but many people don't talk about it because they might be afraid of being viewed differently?
Can you tell me how all animals survive here? No problems in the world, man. You know, everything's adapted in the sea, everything's adapted on land, thick skin. They don't die of sunburn or anything, but yeah, we humans, we die of sunburn, we have to breathe perfect air, we need these trees to survive. We were not made for this fucking earth, man.
It's a lot of the stuff's man-made. There was a documentary recently. A guy's apples only produce 5% of the crop that it normally would, but there's been a lot of aircraft spraying things over the last 12 months above his property. So people don't think outside the box.
Yeah.
But you know, like you look at inclusivity, which is a good thing, but to have a country like Australia with 10 different churches and mosques and temples, how can you have one view that you want your people to be, and yet allow everyone else to also have their views as well? The countries that work don't sort of allow that, right?
Russia,
The communist countries tend
Russia,
to
China.
work better. So
Yep.
you couldn't imagine them doing the things that Australia do.
They wouldn't, man. They've already stopped it.
Yeah. I'm not,
What a fucking oak now, man.
I just know that irrespective of what country I travel to, I just abide by their laws, and their faith is theirs, and I'm not to criticise it. Yet here we can't criticise anything, even if
Oh,
it's,
fuck, man. You wouldn't want to do that in Dubai anyway.
well, no, but I wouldn't. But it's just the fact that in Australia, we're so divisive, yet we try and say that we're inclusive.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not inclusive at all, man. We're multicultural. That's about it.
You actually rang me though, and I've gone sort of on a tangent. What were you ringing me for?
Oh, fuck, I bought a couple of scooters, man.
Yeah, scooters in addition to the motorbikes.
Yeah, a couple of postie bikes.
Oh, nice. So what, were they at auction?
Yeah, pickles, man. 700.
Beautiful. What are they worth? 1,200 each?
Yeah, I reckon 1,200, very quick flip.
Do you-
But 1,500 to 2 grand is what I keep hearing. If I want to sit on it for a while, but yeah, probably 1,200 for a quick flip.
I have people comment all the time that I'm a peasant and is what I do worth it, and you can't make money doing what I do, and yet people like you every single day tell me about a story where they're making an easy $1,000, and it's the people that aren't doing that think it can't be done, and it's the people that are not feeling good about themselves, which is why they're not feeling good about themselves, because they're not doing anything to make themselves feel good about themselves.
That's right, man. I
They're,
love doing this shit.
yeah, people
I
are,
couldn't do it full time. I love doing it part time.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just got too much shit, man, and that's doing my head in a bit.
If you were to pick a religion, do you think you would pick Muslim, or do you think you'd pick Christianity or something else, Hinduism?
Well, see, Christianity, I think, is all about money and power. Where Muslim,
And
I
little
think,
boys?
is more about, hey,
And little boys?
yeah, little boy. Also, is Muslim though now.
Is it?
Come on.
Uh,
Or the little girls.
uh,
You know, they're allowed to marry a fucking 9-year-old girl, 11-year-old girl, man. Come on.
are they though? Or is that just what people think?
Well, I don't know, man. Who
Yeah.
knows? It's what we hear.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Muslim faith is all about fucking, it's not about money and power, man. It's about a belief. And they all come together more. I don't know. You know, you look at the Filipinos, man, like fucking, I don't know. I like their faith more.
Half the Filipinos are Christian though. Half is Muslim, half is Christian.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's like you go in Bali, man. Well, actually, Bali's 70% Muslim, 30% Christian or something like that.
But it's interesting though when you think about it. Like Christianity, I think was like 6 times the population that Muslim beliefs were. But yet in today's society, I think there's only like 10% more Christians across the globe than what there are Muslims. Muslim is the fastest growing religion, and within 20 years they expect that the Muslim religion will outgrow Christianity for 2 reasons. Birth rates are increasing, but also conversion rates are increasing. More people are converting to Muslim than any other religion. And I think that's for the same reason. You look at the church and thrift stores and how corrupt it all is. And if people didn't believe in a religion, then the church would have zero power. And look at the pedophiles that have been convicted, like George Pell, who got out of jail because he rubbed shoulders with the Prime Minister and people in power, you know?
Yep,
So it's all who you know.
sure is. They're all a bunch of pets, man. That's why they get caught the case.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've never been into a Muslim church, right? I wouldn't mind it. Just to see, do they pass a bowl around at the end, Do they do that shit there as well?
Well, I think it's a given that you donate minimum 10% of your income to the church if you're religious. Yeah.
Is it? Man, I hear as high as 50% when you're a Jehovah's Witness.
Well, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah. But like they say now if you're going to create any religion, it's a cult. So what was the difference between people before Christ or since Christ, AD, whatever, having created religions back then? What's to say that why can't we do it now,
Well, we can't. What was that dude that did, man, with all his wives and whatever?
Don't know.
Fuck. Oh, I'll find it later, man. But you can't start a cult these days anyway.
You can't do anything these days. So did you know that with the digital ID coming to Australia, that anyone under 16 isn't allowed to access Facebook and social media, and then anyone over 16 needs to prove they're over 16 to access social media. Therefore, you have no choice other than to upload all of your digital ID.
Yep.
So many people are being arrested for their point of view, for having an opinion that is outside of the norm. I've had so many videos removed off YouTube and demonetized on Facebook and banned on TikTok. Everything's being flagged. I'm getting videos silenced. Even if they leave the video up, they remove the audio. They are doing everything they can from people speaking against the norm. And they decide what the norm is.
Platforms where shit's not allowed, man. Put the shit on X.
Yeah. I just don't think that without long format conversations that are open with different points of view like this, that society is so broken, so many people get triggered by someone having a difference of opinion.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing there. That's why they silence everything, because they're left to field, they get triggered, man. And that's what happens. So a friendly conversation like this turns into a fucking gunfight within a week. Look at Tate, man. I'm surprised. I don't know how that bloke's still alive, man, with all the shit he fucking says.
There's another guy I watch who's Australian, and he's outspoken, and he said that he now needs security because of the death threats that he cops. I cop them as well, and I don't even have a big platform, but you just have so many people that are so sensitive, and people are just, I don't know what it is about society that keeps them so sheltered to anyone that says anything that they disagree with, that they have to feel angered by it. Instead of just having a difference of opinion and expressing that, they get angry and uptight by it. You know?
Oh, no, man. No.
Well, look at even just Australia, how much waste there is in occupational health and safety and human resources. And when I was in the government, our budget was ridiculous for all of that sort of stuff. We had entire departments, and then within each unit we had their own OH&S and HR. There was tens of millions of dollars a year spent in South Australia alone on HR and OH&S individuals. It's just such a waste.
Yeah, well, it's 10 times that now, man.
So many people just kept taking stress leave. If anyone said anything about them, they'd go on stress leave, and it's all paid.
Yeah, I can't stand the government, man. It's like all this South Road works, You could send a South Australian business in there, get the work done for a fucking quarter of the price, man. But instead, let's use a tier 1 company and fucking put all this extra paperwork into it, and it costs, 10 times more.
I was talking to a mate on the weekend about government corruption, and when I was on a road project, all of the people that were on the road project made hundreds of thousands of dollars because they knew where the land was going to be acquired and where the roads were going to go in. The people in the know went out and bought all the properties in the area. One person even bought a property for $300,000 and rented it back to the government for $300,000 over the next 3 years because they needed that property. It was a big industrial shed where they were building everything. So everyone made so much money.
What about that bomb, man?
What? I haven't heard about it. I don't watch the news.
The bomb website, you know, the weather.
What about it?
Heard about that?
No.
So they come out, they've upgraded the weather app.
Okay.
This is government, South Australian government. They come out 4 weeks ago, said, oh yeah, we fucked up, but you know, it only cost us $4 million to upgrade our app. And it come out at the beginning of the week, it actually cost them $96 million to upgrade the app, and it's not worth a pinch of shit now.
Well, that's like the NBN cables. But you know, when I was in the government, my first job was like an office administrator, and I had to order all the stationery. Before the financial year was up, I got told I had to spend $18,000 because if we didn't spend the money in the budget, that we wouldn't get the budget as high next year. So I bought $1,500 cameras, $120 pair of scissors, $300 calculators. I had to spend $18,000 on the stationery bill. So, and you know, our little department, we had a $30,000 food and catering budget, and our team was 12. So we used to have meetings, biscuits and scones and coffee, and we'd get third-party catering services in to give us our cakes and scones and it's
Every day.
no, just whenever we had team meetings. Like, so we called it Hump Day. It was Wednesdays. We'd get like big Kaiser rolls and big bee sting cakes made from the local bakery and all that sort of stuff. So
We had Fridays, man. Fat Friday.
Fat Friday. Every day's a fat day for me.
They buy us whatever, man. On
Yeah.
Fridays.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah, it's pretty good.
That's all right. So I'm coming to lunch Friday then?
Yeah, it's good, man. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like I look back at different things in life, and you know, you've had your downs, and everyone's had that period of life where we need to sort of pull ourselves out of the rut. And it's just surprising, like the amount of people that I had comment on my video talking about, you know, something's missing. I'm always chasing not self-fulfillment. I'm always instant gratification. But it doesn't matter what I achieve or what material possessions I have, it never makes me internally fulfilled or happy or content, so to speak. And everyone comments, you need Jesus, you need Jesus. Like, you know, I just don't understand how people can think that having a God in their life makes them any less miserable when...
No, it's not a God, it's faith.
Faith. Faith
It's
in
having
what?
something to believe in. Well, faith in whatever, man. God, to me, God isn't a fucking God, right? It's something that you can look to, man. In the down times, you know, you think of faith, you rely on faith, man. I don't know.
So whose faith is correct?
Well, that's the thing, man. It doesn't matter what faith is correct. It's faith.
So why do people fight over it?
Whose God is correct.
Why do people fight over different people's faiths? Why can't everyone just let everyone have their own?
Yeah, well, that is a good question, man. Let people believe in whoever they want to believe in. That'll never happen.
But why though?
I don't know. Wars were started on religion, man.
Yeah.
Every war based in the world has been pretty much religion based.
But if you think about religion, if Jesus Christ was the first religion, and I don't know that it was, but then there's been all these other takeoffs of that, like there's the Christian church, there's the Catholic church, there's the Muslim view of, who was the person that created the Muslim, he was one of the disciples, a prophet, Muhammad. You know, he's just another person that had a different view of how everything worked. And what's to say that you don't create a version and we follow your version, or I create a version and you follow my version? We're just humans that have...
Well, it still does happen every day, man.
Yeah.
People are constantly changing the Bible because they have a different read on it. You know, they're constantly changing things in it because everyone has a different read on what was actually done, what was supplied. Or there's more information somehow magically appeared. You know, 10,000 pages are written on stone, man.
Do you think things like Prince Andrew being denounced from royalty and then having all the imports going into the UK, someone is holding something over the crown where, you know, they're no longer the rulers that they once were. I mean, they colonised so many countries with cannons back then, and they were meant to be a Christian country, and yet they massacred anybody that disagreed with them back then, and there's no difference today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was the problems. What were they? Normans and fucking something.
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
It really doesn't interest me, but it intrigues me that it interests so many others.
Yeah.
Do you ever think...
Man, a lot of people need something to look forward to, and a lot of people that is faith.
A lot of people, it's just the weekend.
Well, for me, yeah, it's a fucking weekend. That's
But
what I look forward to every week, man.
do you know that... Sorry. For the last 3 years that I've started doing social media and trying to help others get ahead financially through buying and selling, like you've just said, you know, you make $1,000, $2,000 on a bike, whatever. It's all it takes, and then you don't have to worry about waiting to the weekend. Every day is a weekend. And then you don't even need to worry about faith because you're content and fulfilled and happy, and you don't need to look to something bigger or something else because you're already living a life that's fulfilled in doing the things that you want to do because you don't have to wait till the weekend to do them.
Yeah, but I still am content and fulfilled, man. I enjoy my job 80% of the time.
Yeah.
It's when I have days like yesterday, man, where everything falls apart because I'm surrounded by retards. You know, where it's just you question yourself, man, what are you fucking doing?
But the fact that you can't even use the word retard because it's defamatory, like it's a word that actually describes a group of people, and yet we're not allowed to use that word. Why have we got all these rules put upon us?
Because of the left side, man. Because of all the activists out there, all the fucking furries and fucking homos.
Did you see in Germany they had 7 different politicians all pass away within the last 2 weeks that are all on the same side running for an election that's all coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Really?
Yeah. There's so many things you just won't see, you know?
Did you see Pauline Hanson yesterday?
No, I don't watch the news. I just watch social media. What happened?
She rocked up to fucking Parliament in a full burqa.
Oh, yeah? How did that go?
Oh, man, fucking no going off, eh?
What's wrong with that, though?
Telling everyone to sit down. Oh, because she's taking the piss out of everyone's religion.
But that's freedom of speech. Why can't we have that?
That's pretty much what she was going on with, man.
You know what amazes me, right? We all talk about discrimination and harassment and bullying, and particularly workplace bullying and mental health, and the politicians, the mud that they throw at each other publicly and in the forum surprises me that they are all still so strong-willed and minded that they are all in their job still. You think about what someone like Donald Trump or Pauline Hanson has gone through. I mean, it doesn't matter what you say, there's going to be 50% of the people that disagree with you. So you're already getting 50% of everyone offside. Like, I get so much hate, and I don't even have a big following. You know, just, I couldn't imagine it on a larger scale. But what people don't know is when you keep hating someone in a public eye, when that goes viral, when it gets more views and clicks, people keep triggering that emotion because it keeps getting the views. You look at Spanian at the moment with all of his videos that he's making on self-love, and they're going viral because it's getting so much hate, which is why he keeps doing it. He doesn't do it because he actually thinks a certain way. He does it because it's what gets the reaction. And I've tried that angle, and it does. It works. You have to tell people that they're poor if they work 9 to 5 to make them want to watch the video. What's he talking about? And then you get all the hate for saying it, but they actually watch the video if you go down that path.
Yep. No, man. But does that fucking get you when all the comments come in?
It used to. It doesn't now.
Yeah.
You develop thick skin, I think, which is why the politicians would still be doing what they do, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how Pauline Hanson does it, man, because that would be next level the hate that she'd get.
But imagine if we didn't have her. There's no one doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for the freedom of speech, for having a difference of opinion. Good on her.
We'll never have freedom of speech. We just pretend we do.
Do you know, they're stopping everything in Australia for Australians to get ahead. Politicians don't pay tax. Politicians are worth tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, but they don't own anything in their name. All of their structures are family trusts or corporate companies that aren't in their name.
What's the one that interested me the other day that I watched? What's fucking Tesla? Elon Musk?
Mm.
So he didn't get paid through Tesla, right? Because he didn't want to pay tax. So he got paid in Tesla shares.
Dividends, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But as soon as you take those shares, you have to pay a tax.
So you loan against them.
Is he took out a $30 million loan.
It's smart.
Okay. Took that cash out and then fucking emptied his shares to pay off the loan.
Yeah.
Sent in fucking tax.
But that's how people used to do this years and years ago, which is how a lot of people got ahead. But the problem is now, because of social media, a lot of this knowledge is actually being given out. So a lot more people are getting ahead. So they actually don't want people getting ahead. So they're actually stopping all this because the wealthy are already wealthy. They don't want others getting to their level using the systems they've used to get to these levels. So they're stopping it. So in Australia, you could borrow money against your family trust. So I personally don't own anything. The trust owns everything. So nobody can ever sue me or bankrupt me, or I mean, I can get bankrupt, but no one can ever take away anything that's in the trust. And that's just what smart people do. Australia, though, as of this year, all of the banks are stopping the ability to borrow money in a trust. So you can't have asset protection anymore. Because the people that have already got that asset protection and have already built their wealth have already done it. And if your circle is full of successful, like-minded people, you don't want other people joining your circle. How do you get your elite status or your privilege of power if everyone else is getting up to that level?
Yeah. Oh, man, it still takes work to get there, though.
Yeah, but you get there faster if you use the systems that are there that enable you to do so. The problem is these systems are being closed, which is why everyone is leaving Australia for Dubai. You pay zero tax in Dubai. You only have to live there 6 months of the year. Or you set up your company and you become a dual resident in Paraguay and Dubai. Then you've only got to spend 2 days a year in Dubai, one every 6 months. And then you pay zero tax. You denounce your residency of Australia and you pay zero tax. And all of the people, because you're not wealthy in Australia unless you've got over $10 million now. It used to be $1 million you were considered to have some form of financial wealth. Now, if you don't have $10 million, you just, like everyone else, every house is over $1 million straight away. So anyone who's got more than $10 million to their name is fleeing Australia. It's not worth paying 40, 50 cents in a dollar tax. You can't employ people in Australia.
How do you bring that money back in, though? You can't.
Why would you? You don't need to. Investments overseas are outperforming
If you want
Australia.
to come back here eventually, you still have to bring that money back
No, you
in.
don't. Because you invest in Bali property, for example, you're buying a brand new villa for 400 grand and you're getting 20% per annum rent return. In Australia, and you can build it within 3 to 6 months. In Australia, it takes freaking 12 months and $1 million and you're only getting a 5% return. And you're paying tax here of 40%. Overseas, you don't even pay the tax, so it's a far greater return when you think about all of those benefits. Your money's not tied up as long during the build process. Your money's coming back in at a faster rate, at a higher rate, and you're not getting taxed on that money to the rate that you are in Australia. People in Australia just have the ideology of loving Australia as a nationalist or whatever you would call them, but we are all trained to think and act like sheep. That's schools. 100 years ago, they didn't have an education system. They did not have the education. It was there to indoctrinate and enslave society from a young age.
Fucking Jada got sent home the other day for wearing a hoodie, eh?
For wearing a jumper with a hood.
Yep.
Was she cold?
She always wears a hoodie, man.
Yeah.
All the fucking time.
Yeah. I remember when I went to school, they said that you needed to learn how to do maths because you wouldn't be carrying around a calculator. And now everyone carries around a calculator with their phone and you don't even need to type in numbers on it. You can just ask Siri or ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we got watches too, because now they're trying to take the phones away.
Yeah. Well, Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, one of them was saying that in the future we're not even going to have telephones. Everything's going to be done through like glasses and 3D, and so you just talk. Everything will be done verbally.
Yeah, that'd be alright, eh? Not.
But it's crazy, and like even as a parent, our rights are taken away. We can't even discipline our children, and yet the education system allows them to get away with so much. And then the criminal system in Australia, the number one reason for people in prison is a lack of, or the youth in prison is a lack of or a negative male role model in their lives. But yet, if they had a male role model that was able to punch them in the nose when they needed to have it, or do whatever it is, then there'd be less crime and people on the streets and everything else. But yet you can't do that.
Yeah.
All
I don't
these,
know, man. The day that stopped is the day that everyone started coming out of their fucking closets.
mate, I remember,
Everything changed from there.
was it 22 years ago? No, it was 19 years ago. You and I were walking with my boys at the shops and I smacked one of them for misbehaving. And the lady came over and goes, "That's child cruelty. I'm going to report you. You can't do that." And you said to her, "Shut the F up or you'll get a smack too." All these Karens in the world, that's half of what's wrong with it. And the ferries and everything else.
Yeah, it's just, and it's going to keep getting worse, man. We've allowed fucking furries. What the absolute fuck, man?
I just can't believe they have litter trays at schools. Like, what are they thinking?
Yeah, our world is so fucked up.
My niece goes to a private school and they have 210 genders that they identify that children can pick. And in Queensland, the education system has approved now that when you're enrolling your child into kindergarten, you don't need to identify them as a sex, you can identify them as non-binary.
No, you know, if I had a furry rock up at school, I'd take him straight down to the fucking vet, get him fucking neutered. You want to be a furry? Let's go get you fucking neutered, and you can go sit in the pound until your owner comes back.
Well, this is why people used to put their kids into private schooling, because you wouldn't want to associate with lower class people who don't put their kids into the private education system. And when I say lower class, it's people who can't afford the private education are normally amongst the wealthy families that you don't want your children to associate with, because when your kids are seeing other kids outside of the school system, you want to know that the family's well-to-do, and a lot of the people that are will only put their kids in private schooling, and that's just the mental thought process of those people in that situation. But private schools now are not safer than any public school. All of this mental illness stuff is allowed everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Shit. Absolute rubbish, man. Unless you're going to pay fucking top dollar for a school.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because if you do spend over 30,000 a year in Australia, those schools will not allow this stuff, because that just goes to show that the elites will only mess up everyone else that isn't. They won't mess up themselves.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Oh, well.
isn't it crazy though? Some people go down the rabbit warren of thinking like this and living their entire lives based around the way they think, and others every now and then, like me, have a thought like this and then I just go about my day again and it doesn't come up for another week or whatever in conversation.
Yeah, well, what's the point, though, man? Because every time you mention something, you can't write what you think on social media. Like you said, man, it either gets pulled down or you get banned. What's the point of commenting, man? That's why I don't comment on shit.
Well, this conversation that you and I are having right now, I've got a GoPro in front of me, I'm recording, and I'm going to be putting it on social media, so we will see how long it lasts before it gets pulled down.
Yeah, I that's why you're talking the way you are, motherfucker.
Do I talk differently when I'm talking for the YouTube?
Yep, 100%.
My kids say when I talk on the internet, I talk like this.
Yeah, that's correct.
I had an Asian girlfriend one time, you met her, and I can't even remember what her name was. I think, anyway, I would talk to her like this, would you like to go to cafe? And she's like, I don't talk like that, Danny.
Yes, Jenny. I've just got to my next location, man, so I ought to get out and sort this stuff out.
All right, well, I think that'll be long enough for a video for me. I'll put it up and we'll see what happens.
No worries, mate. Enjoy your day.
Later, see you, mate.
See you, man.
Love you. All right, so this is a bit of a rant. I don't know how this is going to be viewed or whatever. 50% of you will probably hate it, 50% of you might love it. Comment below what your thoughts and what you'd like to see, what your thoughts are and what you'd like to see moving forward. I'll post this and we'll see what happens.